Remember that old saying from 20 years ago, America, love it or leave it? I mean, they had literally tens of thousands of bumper stickers from patriotic Americans back in the 90s that, were very, very pro-America, very, very patriotic. And something's happened in the last 20 years, and I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe you guys have an idea, but there is no patriotism. And the only thing that I can figure out is people like that were in their 30s, 20s, 30s, and 40s back in the 90s are now in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they can see that patriotism is dead. Now, the younger people, they simply don't care. All they care about is, like sports and Lady Gaga and texts and emails and Facebook and all that stuff. There's absolutely no patriotism. And Christianity, I think, has lost its hold too. We're not a very spiritual nation anymore. It's more about what's in it for me. We can see that the country's largely just a mere shadow of what it used to be, but you have to be, of course, in that baby boomer age group that was born between 45 and 65 or older, and perhaps some of the generation, what is it, X or something like that after the baby boomers. But people just don't really give a crap anymore about much of anything. We've lost our barometer, we've lost our drive to excel. And a lot of it's now being based in grade schools, Common Core. All the teachers I've ever talked to just hate Common Core. Of course, that was one of the big programs and pushes from the powers that be, along with everything from Cash for Clunkers, which was the first program, which I thought, I seen that for what it was and I laughed. All it did was make people happy that had clunkers that could get $4,000 out of them. You know what it did to the price of cars? It shot them through the roof. Speaking of cars, and I want to touch base on this. I worked for a guy named Weird Wally's Used Cars back when I was 22 years old. I started out as a lot man, a detail guy, and worked my way up part-time to help him selling cars. Now, you can Google Weird Wally on YouTube, and you can see him. He's a redneck, and he's probably never been on the internet, doesn't even know what email is, and he's now 70 years old, and when I worked for him, he was 36, so I've seen a lot of changes. And he's just a good guy, but he was very, very honest. Very, very honest. Weird Wally's. And we talk about the price of cars. I mean, people would bring their cars in, we'd buy them for $75, we'd sell them for $175. We'd buy them for $175, we'd sell them for $395 or ask $395. And now cars have the prices, because of Cash for Clunkers, supply and demand. We took so many good cars off the road, everything from Mercedes to Corvettes to, economical Hondas and everything else. And it just threw the breadbasket out the window. I mean, nothing in the car business at the time made sense. But I wanted to touch on this. I had it was a 1981 Datsun 280Z, and it was in 1991. I paid $2,500 for the car, and I was living in Denver, Colorado. And I drove it back to my hometown in Lincoln, Nebraska. Go Big Red. That's about all they have there is football, and a lot of nice people. But I remember this was when like the first Walmart was built there, and it looked like kind of a warehouse place. And they were touting, buy American, support Walmart. Everything is a lie. Guys, the deceit in this world I have found is so incredibly deep. And I'll touch on deceit and how it's affected my life here at the end of this video. But I remember these guys outside a Goodyear tire and rubber plant. Of course, they were making American tires then. Now Goodyear's all outsourced everything to overseas, like many factories in Lincoln. This guy says, you traitor, get rid of that Japanese junk. And this is in 1991. And I'm thinking, wow, this guy's pretty patriotic. 1991, how many years ago was that? 23 years ago. So I'm going to share something with you about deceit. And I become aware of it in my journeys. It's been a very, very difficult journey. Well, I'm going to tell you that other story about deceit at another time. I got my son here, and but deceit, autism, pharmaceuticals, vaccines, chemtrails, GMOs, politics.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it just goes on and on. So anyway, sorry he interrupted me. I'll do this video on deceit. It's very, very important. When you see that video pop up with deceit, I am going to explain to you the truth of deceit and how it is affecting all of us now. Have a good day. Say bye, Weston. Say bye. Oh, he doesn't want to say goodbye. Okay.